Welcome back to the Bearcast, the EMS Detergent Services Assistant Coach Profile. This week we're talking to junior high football director, Randy Sexton. Barney to those of you in the inner circle. Coach, as season ended, first of all, I just want to know, what is the key, or what is your main focus at the 7th and 8th grade level?
Ironically, I was just talking to Coach Peterson about that. When our goal as junior high coaches is to make sure that when these kids advance to fresh off high school, that we're giving them every advantage that we possibly can. So we try and run schemes as close to what the varsity is running as possible. Of course, their stuff is a lot more advanced than what we do, but we try and work on line calls with our offense. Defensively, we try and do some of the same kind of stunts, maybe called a little bit differently, but we try and match up as best we can with what they're doing. So when these kids get to high school, it's not such a shock to them. You know, I know that there's other schools in the area that their goal is to win junior high games, and of course you want to win at anything you do, but our concern is more about getting these kids advanced. When they get to high school, they're hitting the ground running.
Now in that, when they come to practice or something the week following on a Monday or a Tuesday, do they say, hey coach, we saw this play, we saw XX blah 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 Friday night, and here's what we saw? Do they ever talk to you about that?
To be honest, we do talk about that, and we say, when you go to a game, pay attention and see, when they're running an offensive call. I'm not going to divulge any inside information.
XY banana.
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But we do talk about that. And when they had the opportunity to come up pregame and coaches go over some things, Coach Hirschman's go over some things offensively on the board afterwards, I was like, guys, that sound familiar? And they're like, yeah, you guys do know what you're talking about. So, yeah, we do try as much as we can to make sure they're learning the game as we go along.
How many years have you been involved in the program now?
Again, I was just talking to Coach Peterson about that upstairs. So I would have started coaching in '89, if you remember right. I think that was the first state championship.
First state championship, yeah.
And then in 91 was that number 2, and then 92. So 3 out of my first 4 years we were state champs. And counting my YSF tenure, this is year 33 that I just completed as a West Branch football coach.
What is it that keeps bringing you back to coach football?
This right here. I had the privilege of coaching a high percentage of these kids when they were younger, and being able to see these kids go from what we had as 7th graders to where they are now as upperclassmen. It's that's the reason all of us do it. It's about helping these kids be successful as they move forward through West Branch football and through life.
Talk about your staff, the guys that are helping you out every week at the junior high level.
So we're very privileged. I have Coach Jared Tiley, who obviously was an offensive coach. Yeah, you might know him. He's pretty good on the Bearcast too. He was an offensive coach here at the varsity level. Ryan Dua, who was a varsity coach for Mid-Prairie and Wapello. My brother Rick came back this year. He obviously was a high school coach here for 25 years. And Kevin Stout, who was a high school coach here as well as over at Regina, won a few football games in his time. And we had a new guy this year, Mike Johnson, who joined us, who brought a whole new energy to the staff. So to say that I'm a blessed coach is an understatement. We, if you look at it, we probably have more varsity experience than a good share of the 1A teams in the state have on their varsity staff. So,
well, before we let you go, talk about what you've seen from the squad on the field behind you, the varsity squad this year at West Branch. What excites you about it, and where do you think, do they still have room to grow?
I think every coach will tell you that they always have room to grow. The thing that excites me about this team is, you watch them play on a Friday night, and there just is not a glaring weakness. As a defensive coach, I don't know where I would try to start with stopping the Bears. I think if you try and take Andy away, which I think most teams are going to try and do, the tie can tear you apart. And I think if you play pass, then Andy's going to run all over you. So I think it's very difficult to stop us offensively. I think our defense is one of the better teams that I've seen in my 33 years of coaching here. We're just so fast to the ball. We got kids that like to hit, and then your special teams. We have good people at every position. I just think we're going to be really tough out this year. Well, that's Coach Randy Sexton. Always great to chat with you, but thanks for what you do with the younger kids to get them ready for this. They're the next generation of Bear football. That is a fact, and we're excited about what we have coming up in these next 2 groups too. There's some good kids that are going to be joining the program next year. We hope they can continue to grow and keep this thing rolling. All right. That has been the EMS Detergent Services Assistant Coach Profile, Randy Sexton. Go Bears. Go Bears.